working with planting fresh vegetables. It's very hard to find fresh vegetables in the city of Newark. So that's one of the committees that we're working with right now. Um, but it starts with fresh vegetables, and it starts with having a plan of making it fun. You can't just tell your kids you have to eat greens, you have to eat cabbage, you have to have a plan for them, and then you got to introduce it slowly. It's just not going to happen overnight. We didn't start eating fried chicken every day overnight. It was a constant routine that happened over a period of time. So it's the same thing that's going to happen with the youth now. We got to introduce it to the parents. They have to model it to their kids and continue practice it, so that way it could build a tradition and they could leave a legacy of health and wellness instead of fried food. And one of the key elements that we're doing is we're introducing this to parents so they can introduce it to their kids, but the kid got to participate in it. So we have some kind of games we have at the YMCA where we have youth basketball. We have chef night where they actually practice a meal. We have a chef come in and actually cook a good meal, and they're like, wow, what is that? It smells so good. And it's greens and it's healthy food where, trying to remember the name, excuse me, turkey chicken, I believe what it is. I just got caught up in that. But it was a delicious meal, but it had carrots, it had all your greens in it, and the kids loved it. And that's what it's about. It's about making it a fun environment where kids can eat healthy and exercise. And it all starts with the parent.
Excellent, excellent. Now, reaching out to the kids and getting them more involved, like in sports and activities. Again, when you go to the schools, and presenting this to the kids, one thing that a lot of kids are gonna have issues with is like traveling back and forth to these places. Like, how is it that you can provide like some sort of transportation? I know, for instance, there used to, when I was younger, growing up, there were a lot of times where I wanted to join certain PAL games. You remember PAL, Police Athletic League, and a lot of times. Welcome to Brick by Brick. This segment, we're here with Ferg, MC Ferg. What's going on, my man? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Um, Third, I like long walks on the beach, and I'm a minister of God basically, and right now I do gospel rap, a little reggae. I'm from Jamaica, so I little do everything.
Where right now do you currently minister out of?
Right now I'm currently ministering out of Saraville, Faith Fellowship Ministries, and from there I was able to reach out to a lot of people and definitely give the cross to a lot of different people.
Okay. How did you get into being a gospel rapper?
Wow, I was out there a little bit, you know what I mean? I was in the world, so I wasn't trying to. My father's a pastor, and like a real heavy, what he preached on the pulpit is what he lived at home. So, but I was trying to run from that, and I was actually at a Cross Movement concert. It was an album release for Christology in layman's terms. I ain't never heard Christianity and rap mesh like that. Like it messed me up. So from then on, I started praying again, and I really got on my walk again.
Okay, so let me ask you, how was it growing up as being a pastor's kid?
Oh man, stories. I saw, everything that got to do with the church, the ins and the outs. I saw how I saw people how reconciliation. I saw how people are not perfect, in the walk, but it's not perfection. It's about that grace. And I saw people who left and came back. I saw the strong get stronger. I saw a lot of different things, and all of it made me realize that what I'm doing is real. It's not fake. It's not made up. This Christianity, this walk that we're in, it's a real, true walk. And you put in the work in it, and you're gonna reap all the benefits of God. Absolutely.
How did you find it from the transition? How did you get into rapping for God? I mean, how did that go about? I mean, I'm sure you just didn't wake up one morning and be like, I think I'm just gonna pick up the mic and do it for the Lord.
I was one of those dudes in front of the high school, like bebopping and battling and messing with people. So the message was always there in my heart. Like I said, I grew up in the house, the house of hearing nothing but Christ all the time, every day. Like I was trained for it, and to take that gift and basically mold it to what's already in my heart is what I did. After I came home from that concert, I really started praying about it, and I started writing right off the bat. I started writing, and from then on, it just went from there.
Who is it that inspire you? Who were your inspirations as far as gospel MCs, gospel rappers. There's not a lot of inspiration back then. I'm sure
Yeah.
when you started out, I'm sure it was difficult. You're not just gonna turn on the radio and there's Richie Righteous or one of
Yeah.
those other rappers.
Well, I had a friend, and my best friend. He was always in my ear about walking again, and he had stuff from way back. Doughboy, he had stuff from the '80s. He was playing for me, just show that there was a history there. But for me, my inspiration came from I could do like T-Bone, because that's all you heard back then. And you heard another one with, of course, the Cross Movement. I love the Ambassador. I love the Fanatic and cats like that. Gospel wasn't watered down. It's hard hitting. You could put that on a pulpit and get somebody saved. You know what I mean? So I was definitely into that. I think that was really it at that point. You know what I mean? Just the Cross Movement, because again, that's what really got me back to my walk. So I focused on that for like a year, not much, and then that really got me to start writing and propelling from there.
Amen, amen. Now, from the time that you started off to where you are now, how is it that you feel you've grown in your ministry as far as rapping for the Lord?
A lot of things that you gotta overcome. I've learned that when it comes to ministering for God, you gotta look at the positives and give the negatives to God, and just leave it at that. And you don't harp on anything. And if you and I have a difference in theologies and how we believe that Christians should live, I've learned I'm just going to be happy that you accepted Christ. So I'm going to see you in heaven. In terms of our theologies, we can always work that out as we're here, as brothers, but we don't need to argue and strife. I've gone to churches, and because of a difference in theologies, you clash with people. So I tend to not go there anymore. I just want to minister, get people to the cross, because that's the basis of everything that we're doing. They get saved and they meet Christ. They see the love of God, and they get to see what God is fully about. Ephesians 3:19, the fullness of God through Christ.
Amen, amen. How is it outreaching to your friends who don't know Christ? Do they support you? I know it's difficult right now to get support from a lot of people who cast a shadow over gospel rappers, saying, that the lyrics are not the same, they're not hard enough, they're not strong enough, the beats are whack, the MCs are whack. I mean, how do you go about presenting who you are to those like your friends and people who don't know, of gospel rap?
Yeah, I went through that, and again, through prayer, I've learned God put something inside of me, not for everybody's approval, but for His approval. So when I do what's called relationship music, I want to show people that meeting God is not like a Michael Jordan. He's a superstar. You look from afar in awe. God is somebody close to you. You can sit there and talk with Him. So a lot of my music is based on that. I'm not focused on being hard and all that to please somebody else. I'm focused on showing somebody who God is for real through Christ, period.
Amen. And a lot of times when people are trying to outreach to the community, you don't have